Communicate is an anime I've wanted to review immediately after the end of its first season. Sadly, I've postponed this video due to other projects and everyday average life. But now that we get a second season this spring, I've decided to settle the score and give this anime its fair price. Its fair praise. Up to this point, most people in the otaku community already know this show is amazing. Communicate is a slice of life comedy, which for the most part works.
But Komi didn't say anything. Wait a second, something isn't right.
It definitely is entertaining to watch how a gorgeous looking girl acts shy and insecure around her classmates. Komi is totally my type. Tall, slender, white, brunette, waifu with a dominant attitude and a mean stare. The imperialistic, sword lady type. Komi might be a nice girl, and she's kind towards others, but she can have a mean look on her face whenever she's alone and focused on herself. I like the awkward way she interacts with her classmates. She shivers constantly and is unable to speak. Komi usually has something to write down her thoughts on.
What if we hadn't found you and you were still trapped in that closet?
This definitely helps in getting a bit more insight into her thought process and adds some much needed context to most scenes involving her character. Komi is such a complex waifu. From her silent yet imposing demeanor to her childish insecurities and cute feminine behavior.
I'll decide who my friends are on my own.
I simply love her cat ears. Most of the time she is normal, but whenever intrigued or excited, Komi gets cat ears on her head to signal determination and awareness of her surroundings.
Let's ask Najimi and Agari to play it with just us.
But hey, who cares about that? They're always there to make her look cute and innocent. Something else that is strongly emphasized in this series are Komi's facial expressions. Anime is no stranger to exaggerations, but here it is clearly an intentional aspect of the show to have our main waifu expose a variety of emotions in such a visible way that they become statements.
How is this possible?
I think I've lost the power of knowing exactly what she's thinking.
People in her class don't seem to mind her silence and worship her as an idol. Again, she's the popular type, and more specifically, the boss class president archetype, present in a variety of our anime. Best way to describe her would be as a female version of Sakamoto. The guy was suave and always in control of the situation. Komi is able to overcome her anxieties and solve most misunderstandings through charm alone, which puts her in the same badass category as Sakamoto. Still, brunette, tall, slender, silent most of the time, yet still beloved by the masses. This is the best type of person, considering anime standards. Ever since Komi has arrived to her school, she's become the most popular girl in her class.
Except for the fact that I'm friends with Komi, the prettiest girl in school.
Almost everyone tries to talk to her, or becomes her friend.
She's always confident. She's always quiet, reserved, and just so cool.
So despite all these opportunities and advantages, it is hard for Komi to make any meaningful connections to her disorder. Apparently, as it is said right before the opening song, this is indeed a disorder that affects her loner behavior.
They only struggle to communicate. It doesn't mean that they don't want to form long-lasting connections or friendships.
Komi has big plans. She wants to make 100 friends. That used to be Shiki's main objective in Eden Zero, until they introduced the galactic entity known as Mother. Anyhow, it should be easy for Komi to get 100 friends considering her popularity and beauty.
Lady Komi is coming to us. Look here before us.
Sometimes she looks childish, and sometimes she even looks kinda evil. Komi has a complex personality, and despite her issues in forming long-lasting connections, she seems to excel in every other aspect of her high school life. Komi is excellent at sports and is an athletic figure. She is good at every subject and performs well in every health exam. Naturally, all this fame and popularity will inevitably attract haters, or at least rivals, who want to challenge the queen. This slowly brings me to some secondary characters and to the main character. Which is ironic, because Komi ain't exactly the protagonist of the series. She's at the front of every episode and the main focus of the story, but most events are seen through the eyes of our average, boring, random teenage guy called Tadano.
My name is Hitohito Tadano. I'm just a regular guy.
He's as bland as you can get. It's a damn miracle how both Komi and him managed to have such interesting interactions given their behavior and personality. Maybe it is the inability to communicate what brought them together. All I know is that I simply love how they both start to tremble anxiously in certain situations. Tadano is more or less there to offer us an opportunity to see Komi communicate her desires and frustrations. Towards other people, our waifu is silent and barely even tries to express any emotion. However, once Tadano becomes her friend, Komi finally manages to express her feelings and thoughts. This was obviously made for the audience to understand the message of the series and the reasoning behind Komi's inability to communicate. The problem with this kind of show, which focuses primarily on the psychology state of the protagonist, is that side characters tend to be bland, uninteresting, and kind of boring. This one made me drop an awesome anime like The Disastrous Life of Saki K. The concept was amazing, and the main character is fun, well developed, and even relatable at times. The show had so much potential, but the other characters were so mediocre, except for Teruhashi, of course. Her eccentric narcissism was always a pleasure to observe, as it clashed with Saki K's relaxed and indifferent personality. Now that I think about it, I can draw many parallels between these two shows. Both of them have silent yet popular protagonists. There is a social butterfly in both stories, Teruhashi in Saki K, with her pretty face and godlike glow, and in Komi's show we have Najimi, whose sexuality is highly in question. Apparently she used to wear boy uniform in the middle school, and now Najimi is a girl. Well, even when they go swimming, Najimi wears less revealing, ambiguous clothes. She even changes to the mixed locker room.
Wow! That's
They got changed in the unisex bathroom.
But the most alarming sign comes from Big Man himself, Tadano. When all the secondary characters were rating the women revealing their bathing suits, when it came to Najimi, Tadano stayed absent for a good reason. He kinda had the defeated look on his face, as if he knows something that we don't. Cause maybe she has a shrunk? Cause maybe she's actually a guy?
10 points. 10 points. 10 points.
When it comes to background characters, we have a weird variety of people. We get a ninja from Naruto. Anyway, his name is Shinobu something. Like Shinobi, and rather creative, I know. Also, one of the girls from Komi's class has some weird set of armor on. Yeah, this is quite a variety in the dress code. Another noteworthy girl from the show would be Ren Yami. She's fixated on defeating Komi at any challenge, but always settles for a draw, and chooses to fight another day.
Don't leave us behind!
I think when they had these measurements taken, Komi has outclassed her in every way possible, and yet Yami still finds a way to hide her loss and pretend they were even in the fight. This show is very episodic, a bunch of sketches crammed together in a frail narrative, kind of like Life of Saki and another comedy classic, School Rumble. Anime is usually known for its long arcs. Here we have more of a cartoon structure, But for a slice-of-life comedy show, it works just right. The moments I like the most from this anime are the ones with Komi alone, either deciding on her next action or simply stressing out needlessly about nothing. She's simply adorable. I give Comic and Communicate a strong 8.3 out of 10. I really like this anime, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself.